The venue cost $18,000 for 6 hours. Ashley sent me the invoice on a Wednesday morning with a message, your share. Pay by Friday so I can secure the date. My share for her wedding to my brother. I read the email twice while drinking coffee at my kitchen table. The Riverside Estate. Waterfront views. Capacity for 300 guests. Champagne fountain included. I typed back, I can't contribute to the venue cost. Congratulations on the engagement though. My phone rang within 30 seconds. You can't contribute. Ashley's voice was already elevated. What do you mean you can't contribute? I mean I don't have $18,000 to spend on someone else's wedding venue. I said calmly. That's more than a year of my car payments. Your brother is getting married. This is a family event. And I'll happily attend as a guest. But I'm not financing the location. Everyone else is chipping in. Your parents are covering the catering. Uncle Robert is paying for flowers. This is how families work, Sarah. Those are their choices. I'm choosing not to pay for a venue. Silence. Then we'll discuss this at Sunday dinner. She hung up. Sunday dinner at my parents' house had been a tradition for 12 years. Mom cooked, Dad grilled, and the family gathered around the table on the back patio. Usually it was pleasant. This Sunday felt different the moment I walked in. Ashley was already there. Wearing white, a deliberate choice, I assumed. She had a 3-ring binder open on the counter labeled, Wedding Planning in gold letters. My brother stood beside her looking uncomfortable. Sarah's here, Ashley announced to the room. Maybe now we can settle the venue situation. Mom looked up from the salad she was making. What venue situation? I sent Sarah the invoice for the Riverside Estate 3 days ago. She's refusing to pay her share. Her share? Dad turned from the grill. Why would Sarah pay for your venue? Ashley's smile tightened. Because family contributes to weddings. You're covering catering. Robert is doing flowers. Everyone has a role. We offered to cover catering. Mom said carefully. Nobody assigned Sarah a venue fee. Well, someone needs to pay for it. The venue requires a deposit by next Friday, or we lose our date. I set down my purse. Ashley, I told you Wednesday I can't afford $18,000 for a venue. That's not changing. Can't or won't? Both. Her face flushed. This is my dream wedding. The venue overlooks the water. There's a fountain. The photos will be incredible. Then you and my brother should pay for it. We're already paying for the honeymoon. The dress, the photographer, the band. Those are all choices you're making. I interrupted. I support your marriage. I don't support a $75,000 wedding that requires family members to take on debt. Ashley slammed the binder shut. You're being selfish, I'm being realistic. My brother finally spoke. Ashley, maybe we should look at less expensive venues. No, she cut him off. I've dreamed about the Riverside Estate since I was 12. I'm not settling for some cheap banquet hall because your sister won't help family. I am helping, I said. I'm helping by not encouraging financial irresponsibility. Ashley's jaw clenched. She picked up the binder and walked out to the patio. Dinner was tense. Ashley barely spoke to me. Every time someone mentioned the wedding, she'd glance in my direction with obvious irritation. Dessert was finishing when she brought it up again. I've been thinking, Ashley said, about the venue situation. Sarah, what if we worked out a payment plan? You could pay $1,500 a month for 12 months. No. You didn't even consider it. Because the answer is no. I'm not paying for your venue in installments or lump sum. She stood abruptly. Fine. Then I guess my wedding will be ruined. Because you're too cheap to help family. Ashley, my brother started. She walked inside. I heard her footsteps going upstairs toward my parents' home office. Mom sighed. This is getting out of hand. She'll calm down, Dad said, though he didn't sound convinced. I helped clear dishes. 10 minutes later, Ashley came back downstairs carrying something large. It was my parents' wedding album. The massive leather-bound one that lived on the office shelf. 15 pounds of photos and memories from 1989. Ashley, what are you doing with that? Mom asked. Ashley walked directly to where I stood at the sink. She held the album against her chest. This represents family, she said. Commitment, support. Everything you're not showing me right now. Put mom's album back, I said quietly. Pay for my dream venue, or I'll destroy you. Ashley screamed. It happened fast. She swung the album like a bat. The hardcover corner, thick, reinforced with metal edging from the 1980s, caught me directly across the bridge of my nose. I heard the crack before I felt the pain. Then blood. Everywhere. It poured from my nose, down my mouth, onto my shirt. I stumbled backward against the counter. My vision blurred. Someone was screaming. Maybe mom. Maybe me. The album hit the floor with a thud. I pressed my hand to my face and it came away dark red. Oh my God, my brother said. Ashley, what did you? She wasn't listening. Ashley's voice was shrill. I told her how important this was. Dad grabbed a kitchen towel and pressed it to my face. Head back. Apply pressure. Jesus, Ashley. The towel soaked through in seconds. We need to get her to the hospital. Mom said, her voice shaking. My brother grabbed his keys. I'll drive. Ashley stood frozen in the kitchen staring at her hands. The ER took me back immediately. Blood pouring from your nose gets attention. The nurse documented everything. What happened? My sister-in-law hit me with a wedding album. I said through the towel. My voice sounded strange. Nasal, she wrote that down verbatim. Did she hit you intentionally? Yes. Was this during an argument? She wanted me to pay $18,000 for her wedding venue. I refused, she assaulted me. More notes. We'll need to take photos of the injury. And we're required to file a police report for assault cases. Is that acceptable? Yes. They took 11 photos. Front view. Both sides. Close-ups of the swelling. The blood matting my hair. My shirt soaked, dark red. Then X-rays. Then a CT scan. The ER doctor came back with images on a tablet. Your nasal bone is fractured in 2 places. You also have a deviated septum. The cartilage that divides your nostrils is displaced. You're going to need reconstructive surgery. How soon? We'll refer you to an ENT specialist. The swelling needs to reduce first, probably 7 to 10 days. But this will require surgical correction. He typed on his laptop. I'm documenting this as assault with a blunt object causing severe mid-face trauma. The CT scans and X-rays will be sent to our ENT consultation network for surgical planning. Are you comfortable with that? Yes. Good. You'll likely hear from multiple surgeons. Complex facial reconstructions often involve consultations from several specialists. A police officer arrived while they were setting my broken nose temporarily. I gave a statement. Described the argument. The threat. The weapon. We'll need to take the wedding album as evidence. The officer said. My brother had brought it. Still stained with my blood. The officer photographed it. Bagged it, documented the metal-edged corner. This is a deadly weapon charge. He said. Assault with a deadly weapon causing great bodily injury. Your sister-in-law is looking at felony prosecution. They sent me home with pain medication, ice packs, and an appointment card for Dr. Patricia Hendricks, ENT surgeon. The following Tuesday, the police arrested Ashley at my parents' house that night. My brother called at 11 p.m. His voice wrecked. They took her in handcuffs. He said, Sarah, I'm so sorry. I had no idea I know. The wedding's off. Obviously, I can't marry someone who'd do that. I'm sorry. Don't apologize. You were right about everything. The venue, the spending. All of it. I just didn't want to see it. We hung up. I couldn't sleep. Every time I shifted position, pain shot through my face. Tuesday's appointment lasted 90 minutes. Dr. Hendricks examined the CT scans, took new photos, documented the deviation. This is significant trauma, she said. The nasal bone fractures are clean, but the septal deviation is severe. You'll have breathing issues if we don't correct it. I'm recommending septorhinoplasty, reconstructive surgery to repair both the bone structure and the internal cartilage. When? 4 weeks. We need the initial swelling completely resolved. She clicked through images on her screen. I'm also sending your scans to our regional ENT network. Cases involving assault often require additional documentation for legal purposes. and complex reconstructions benefit from peer consultation. How many doctors will review it? At least 10 in our network. Maybe more if we need specialized input for the reconstruction. She printed information about the surgery. Recovery time: 6 weeks minimum. Risks: infection, scarring, breathing complications. Cost $23,000. Mostly covered by insurance since it was assault related. One more thing, Dr. Hendricks said. I'm required to submit my findings to the medical review board. Assault cases involving permanent disfigurement trigger additional protocols. You'll likely be contacted by a victim's advocate. I received emails from 3 other ENT surgeons over the next week. All had reviewed my scans. All confirmed the surgical plan. All documented assault with blunt object in their notes. The victim's advocate called on Friday. I've reviewed your case file and the medical documentation. 10 ENT surgeons have now submitted findings consistent with felony assault causing permanent injury. The district attorney's office is filing charges. Are you willing to cooperate with prosecution? Yes. Good. The medical evidence is overwhelming. CT scans, surgical consultations, photographic documentation. Your sister-in-law's public defender is going to have a very difficult case. Ashley's arraignment was the following Monday. My brother attended. I didn't. He called afterward. She pled not guilty. Her lawyer tried to argue it was an accident during a heated discussion. The prosecutor showed the crime scene photos, the album, the blood, your face, then showed the CT scans. The judge set bail at $50,000. Is she out? Her parents posted it, but there's a no contact order. She can't come near you or my parents' house. The wedding venue canceled and kept the deposit when they saw the news coverage. News coverage. Local station had picked up the story. Bride attacks sister-in-law over wedding venue dispute. My surgery was scheduled for October 15th. 4-hour procedure. Dr. Hendricks would rebuild the nasal structure, correct the deviation, minimize scarring. The good news, she told me during pre-op, is that your case has become a teaching example in our network. We've had requests from medical students to observe the reconstruction. If you're comfortable with that, it helps train future surgeons on assault-related facial trauma. I'm comfortable with it. The surgery went well. I woke up with splints, bandages and instructions for 2 weeks of limited activity. Dr. Hendricks visited during recovery. Perfect reconstruction. Your breathing should improve significantly. The scarring will be minimal, invisible within 6 months. Ashley's trial was scheduled for January. The prosecutor sent me the evidence list in December. 11 photos from the ER Connecticut scans, reviewed by 10 specialists. Surgical records, police statements, the weapon itself, witness testimony from my parents and brother. This is the most documented assault case I've handled in 5 years. The prosecutor said during our meeting. 10 medical professionals have submitted findings. All confirm severe trauma from blunt object. Your sister-in-law is facing 3 to 7 years. The trial lasted 4 days. Ashley's defense tried to claim I'd provoked her, that family disputes sometimes escalated, that she hadn't meant to cause serious injury. Then the prosecution showed the CT scans on a courtroom screen, showed the fracture lines, the displaced cartilage. Dr. Hendricks testified about the severity, the permanent nature without surgery, the $23,000 in medical costs. All 10 ENT surgeons had submitted written statements. The judge allowed them into evidence. The jury deliberated for 90 minutes. Guilty on all counts. Assault with a deadly weapon. Great bodily injury enhancement. Sentencing was set for February. My brother filed for annulment of the engagement. Apparently that was legally possible in our state. He moved out of the apartment he'd shared with Ashley. I keep thinking about what she said. He told me over coffee in January that you were destroying her dream wedding. She actually believed that. Believed she was entitled to your money, your support, everything. And when you said no, she tried to destroy you instead. Some people don't handle boundaries well. That's a generous interpretation. Maybe, but she's paying for it now. Ashley was sentenced to 4 years in state prison. The judge cited the premeditated nature, picking up a weapon, making a verbal threat, following through with violence, and the permanent injury requiring surgical correction. You scarred your sister-in-law for life over a wedding venue, the judge said. That demonstrates a profound lack of character and respect for human dignity. My nose healed completely. Dr. Hendricks was right. The scarring became invisible. My breathing actually improved. The medical bills were covered by victims' compensation and Ashley's restitution payments, which would continue for years. My brother started dating someone new in March, someone who didn't dream about $18,000 venues or think family members were personal ATMs. And somewhere in a state correctional facility, Ashley had 4 years to think about the cost of her dream wedding. The venue would have been beautiful, I'm sure, but not as beautiful as being able to breathe clearly through a nose that healed properly, because 10 ENT surgeons cared enough to document everything.